Happy Friday, everybody. Listen, the weekend is finally here. The freaking weekend is upon us. So happy Friday, everybody. Now listen, I was out in these streets minding my good Friday afternoon business when the internet erupted. Brit Eady of the Real Housewives of Atlanta announced that she is suing. Hey, Halfpin, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you, boo. Announced that she is suing Bravo for $20 million. Now, y'all know my girl Tracy slid me the lawsuit, so we can read the lawsuit, right? And before I give y'all my opinion, I just want to go over a few things before we get to the lawsuit. So the first thing I want to go, I'm not going all the way back to the beginning. I'm not doing it. That we're not doing, okay? If you don't know what we're talking about with Kenya Moore and all that, then I don't know, baby. But I am going to start from yesterday where they were filming the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 reunion. Now, yesterday I talked about this a little bit during the tribe meeting, but let's get into it over here because we didn't talk about it over here. But let's get into it a little bit. So on yesterday, we found out that Britt Eady did not show up to the reunion. As you guys can see, this is the seating chart from the reunion on yesterday. Britt Eady was not there. So as soon as it was announced that Britt Eady was not on the seating chart, speculation began. Kenya made this announcement on her Instagram page yesterday. Hold on, let me take this off. My bad, y'all. Thank you, Happen, for becoming a member, boo. I'm going to take this down so I can read, finish so you guys can see the screen. Oh, Lord, let me take the banner down too. So it says, I'm disappointed to not be a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 reunion taping today. Please know I take full accountability for my actions and deeply apologize to all those affected, including Brittany, the cast, the crew, guests, and viewers. I look forward to seeing you all back on Bravo soon. Now, let me put a pin in this right here, because before I get to the lawsuit and I get to the commentary on that, let me tell you what I was going to say about this yesterday. I forgot all about this yesterday when we were going live. Hey, Big Ant, I think you said that yesterday. Tell me what you mean by a plant. A plant about what? About what? You put an LOL, so maybe you just joking. But I just want to understand what the plant is. But okay. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, boo. So, what I was going to say on yesterday, again, this was my commentary yesterday before the lawsuit, but I still am going to say what I'm going to say. Had Kenya had this attitude from the beginning, I think there would have been a different reaction. Now, based on information that I was told, I still don't know if they would have made a difference in Kenya being removed for the season. I do not know, because I've told you guys before, based on information that I was given, there. I'm going to go ahead and say this because I'm going to say it anyway later on. But based on information that I was given as a result of the investigation, it's a bigger reason why Kenya did not come back this season. It's not just about what Kenya did to Britt. There's more to the story, according to what I heard. So that's allegedly. That is allegedly. And I keep trying to explain that to people, but people don't want to hear me. And I'm not saying you got to believe me, because hell, y'all don't know where I'm getting this information from, so you don't have to believe my opinion of what I'm saying. But based on what I was told, it's a bigger reason why Kenya was asked to leave for the season. I told y'all from the very beginning, Kenya was gone for the season. That did not mean that there wasn't a door open for Kenya to come back through next year. Now, Britt Eady then made the announcement, and I don't have it up there, but I'll read it to y'all again for those of y'all that might have forgotten. Yesterday we talked about it, so let me read y'all the message that Britt Eady posted on yesterday down to her Instagram. Let me find it. Don sent it to me. Okay, here it is. So this is what Brit Eady said. As everyone is now aware, I am not attending the reunion. This was my decision. The events of this season have devastated me, and while I cannot say much right now, I do want to set the record straight about one thing. The graphic actual photo surrounding the events in episode 5. That photo was not me. As the episode makes clear, I did not see the photo at the time. Rather, I was made aware of the photo being presented at the event, and based on what I was told, assumed that it was somehow a photo of me, which is why I reacted in the way that I did. I do not know who was in that photo, but upon seeing it for the first time recently, I now know it was not me. I look forward to seeking accountability and moving past this dark part of my life, Britt. Now, I'm going to give y'all my commentary, but let's read this lawsuit first. I have some thoughts, and I have reached out to my people that had information from the inside out, and I have some insight. Now, when I get to that part of my insight, let me say this, and I love y'all. I do. I love y'all down. But I ain't arguing. And what I mean by I'm not arguing is people can have their opinion. I know that Team Twirl is strong. And I know that y'all love Kenya and y'all feel like Kenya was done so dirty. I got it. And I know that this is making Team Twirl double down. I got it. But let me read y'all this lawsuit. Let's get into this lawsuit. Shout out to Tracy. Once again, Tracy, my boo, for getting me the lawsuit. Hey, Ray, what's up, boo? So let me share the screen. All right, so here is the lawsuit. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Let me adjust myself on the screen. Thank you, Edwina. How you doing, my love? Okay. First of all, and for all of my tribe members that are over here, because y'all know some of y'all are not on y'all know I have 2 channels and so some of y'all are not on the other side, but for the people that are on the other side of people like the Chucks of the world, where we read through these lawsuits all the time, first of all, let me tell y'all something. This lawsuit is only 4 pages long. Now, for those of you who have been with me as we have read through lawsuits, baby, we have seen lawsuits that are 400 pages long. Baby, did y'all hear what I just said? This lawsuit is 4 pages long. Baby, we have seen them Diddy lawsuits. It take them 4 pages just to tell you who being sued. So you are So that's number one. That's the first thing that hit me with this lawsuit. When Tracy told me it was only 4 pages long, I was like, you sure you got the right lawsuit? So let's read it. Okay, let's read it. Brit Eady is suing Truly Original LLC, Bravo Media LLC, NBC Universal Media LLC, Endemol, Shine North America, and Jane/John Doe 1 through 5. I don't even know who the John Doe 1 through 5 is. But here it is right here. Those are the defendants again. Here we go. Let's read. Since it's only 4 pages, y'all, we can read the whole daggone thing. Normally, I just cut to the nitty gritty, but baby, it's 4 pages. That is the nitty gritty. Okay. The nature of this action is defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, false light, respondent superior, and S harassment and hostile work environment in violation of the New York State Human Rights Law of the New York City Human Rights Law in regards to an incident occurring during a filming June the 6th of 2024 taping of the reality television show The Real Housewives of Atlanta and the subsequent production and airing of the Real Housewives of Atlanta episode on April the 6th of 2025. On June the 6th of 2025, at an event that was filmed for the production of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, one of the show's cast members willfully, intentionally, recklessly, and or with gross negligence made false, defamatory, harassing, and damaging statements regarding the plaintiff, another cast member on the show in front of an audience of approximately 200 people. The cast member also displayed posters containing written, false, and defamatory statements regarding plaintiff and her occupation, as well as an explicit photo depicting a woman engaged in graphic sexual content. The cast member falsely claimed that the photograph depicted the plaintiff. Plaintiff was not present when the photograph was presented and did not see the explicit photograph until after certain of these events were aired on Bravo nearly a year later, as addressed below. Attendees of the event took photographs, video, and audio recordings of the cast members' reaction and circulated certain of them on social media sites, including Instagram and TikTok, and the statements were subsequently circulated by media outlets. The foregoing action of the cast member at issue were within the scope of the defendant's business and in furtherance of the defendant's business. But on the show, she don't have a business. But on the show, she don't have a business. Remember, she sold her insurance company, and she called herself getting ready to sell these knockoff Spanx. But as of this season, what business does she have? Moving right along, I'm gonna keep going. Let me just keep reading it. Let me keep reading, chat. Defendants willfully, intentionally, recklessly, and or with gross negligence republished certain of the cast member statements at issue. Specifically, defendants willfully, intentionally, recklessly, and or with gross negligence produced, edited, and aired an episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta on April the 6th of 2025 that included footage of certain of the cast member statements at issue, as well as commentary from other cast members that described the photograph displayed. Further, the manner in which the episode was aired falsely yet unmistakably implied that the graphic sexual photograph presented by the cast member depicted plaintiff. On information and belief, defendants knew that the photograph did not depict the plaintiff, or at least were reckless or grossly negligent in failing to learn that the photograph did not depict the plaintiff. Despite plaintiff's repeated requests prior, remind me to go back to that. Little baby, you in the chat. Remind me to go back to that part, because I ain't nobody's attorney, but I feel like just remind me to go back. We in child, we on page 4. Hell, you ain't got to remind me. We on the last damn page. Shit. Anyway, despite plaintiff's repeated requests prior to the airing of the episode at issue, the defendant show. Wait a minute, hold on. Despite plaintiff's repeated requests prior to the airing of the episode at issue that defendants show her the photograph, defendants refused to do so. By way of the foregoing, defendants contributed. Wait a minute. By way of the foregoing, defendants contribute to a hostile work environment for plaintiff and sexually harass the plaintiff by subjecting the plaintiff to unwelcome, offensive, and sexualized behavior and comments based on her gender, by requiring her to continue working in an environment in which she had been subject to a gendered attack, creating an inferior condition of privilege of employment because of her gender. Ma'am, the whole cast is women. The whole cast is women. Let me finish reading. We almost done, y'all. We almost done, child. Hold on, y'all. Let me finish reading. The relief sought is as follows: immediate removal of the episode from public access on all platforms, networks, and media outlets in the defendant's control. B, a public statement by defendants and the statements by the cast members that the depiction of those statements, including the impression that the explicit photograph depicted plaintiff were false. C, a monetary award to be determined at trial entered against the defendants jointly and severally and or individually, as well as punitive damages entered against the defendants jointly and severally and or individually. E, for the costs and fees of this proceeding, including legal fees, and for such other and further relief as this court deems just and proffered. Should defendant fail to appear here, judgment will be entered by default for the sum of not less than $20 million with interest and costs and fees. Plaintiff designates New York County as the place of trial. The basis of this designation is defendant's principal place of business and sites of where events relevant to this action occurred, and the venue selected in its employment contract governing the relationship between plaintiff and defendant, Truly Original LLC, as well as the employment contract governing the relationship between the offending cast member and defendant, Truly Original. So first of all, I'm going to scroll back up to where I just said, remind me. This paragraph right here at the top where it says statements at issue, as well as a commentary from other cast members that describe the photographs displayed. Further, the manner in which the episode was aired falsely yet unmistakably implied that the graphic sexual photograph presented by the cast member depicted the plaintiff. On information and belief, defendants knew that the photograph did not depict the plaintiff, or at least were reckless or grossly negligent in failing to learn that the photograph did not depict the plaintiff. I'm going to stop right there. And my commentary probably is going to be all over the place, but let me stop right there. Excuse me. Hey, girl. Britt. Hey, girl. Hey. Ma'am, you literally filmed at least 3 different scenes with your castmates in which you told them that you believe that picture to be you. You filmed with Kelly, where you explained that you did webcam with your girlfriend back in the day. You filmed with Drew when Drew asked you about it. Remember the infamous did you sell the cat? You filmed with the whole cast minus Kenya. Remember when you got into the argument with Angela where, ma'am, you insinuated that you thought that picture was you. She went on Watch What Happens Live and said it. See, I didn't see her on Watch What Happens Live, but I believe you. So that's number one. That's number one. Number two. Let me take this off the screen. Because like I said, this lawsuit is only 4 pages long. Now, I didn't go to nobody's law school, and I'm not saying that just because the lawsuit is only 4 pages long, that doesn't mean that it's a valid lawsuit. But what I am going to say is the lawsuit is only 4 pages long. You didn't even include a picture of the picture as Exhibit A. To me, it seemed like an easy way to prove that it's not you would be a picture of the obviously they would have to blur it out for us, but with the court, a picture of you, a picture of the picture that you were allegedly doing the things that you were allegedly doing. Emails between you and production, emails between, like, how can you prove that those women didn't know it was you? You can't prove that. You're saying upon information and belief, they didn't even think it was me either. Those women's reaction coming up out of that event, I don't listen. Portia ain't that good of an actress. Have we forgotten who said that? Who said that? Portia is not that good of an actress. Portia came running up out of there like her pants was on fire. Okay? Kelly, who was your friend at the time, absolutely thought it was you. Kelly was your friend at the time. You called her your bestie. You mean to tell me that your bestie wouldn't have came and said, girl, you know that wasn't you, right? Girl, that was not you. Now, what I also don't believe, and this is my opinion, what I also don't believe, I do not believe for 1 second that you didn't see that picture. I do not believe for 1 second that you did not see that picture. I just don't believe it. Now, that's my opinion. I don't know it to be right or wrong, but I don't believe that you didn't see that picture. Right, Chuck. That was a whole quote. Lord, she's sucking. If the pictures weren't of her, why wouldn't Kenya have said, I'm joking, those pictures weren't of Britt, especially if she knew her job was on the line? Facts. Facts. Now, this is what I will say. This is what I believe happened. And I don't know this to be true. This is my speculation of what I think happened. And this the part where I said, y'all don't have to agree with me. I know Team 12 feel how Team 12 feel. But this is my opinion. Jamil said, just say it was your original face and you ain't recognize it. I added that last part. But yeah, okay. First of all, okay, I'm gonna get to it, Foodie. But that's the other part. You mean to tell me that you don't believe an investigation was done either by Truly Original or Bravo? I believe an investigation was done. And there's nowhere in hell that an investigation was done and they ain't talked to you. I just don't believe that. But okay, let me get back to this. Wasn't Portia saying she was a minor? She got that information from Britt. But if she saw the picture, why would she file a lawsuit? Because she's a scammer. She's trying to get some money. So here's what I believe happened. This is my opinion, y'all. I don't know none of this to be a fact, but here's what I believe happened. She showed the pictures on the phone to her husband following the episode where she was crying. I don't remember that part, but okay, I believe you. Let me say this. After the incident happened, we're going to have to go back in time. Don, you with me? Don, you was on this from the beginning, and I know you had boots on the ground just like I had boots on the ground. So let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning. After the event happened, if y'all remember correctly, Britt Eady came down to this good internet and played victim. Britt Eady said that, she played victim and she played into the whole thing. When Kenya brought up that woman threatened her with a weapon, she said, no, I didn't. I never threatened her until we actually saw the episode and heard her say the words. Then all of a sudden it was a different conversation. So if you ask me why did she file a lawsuit and why would she lie? She's been lying. She's been lying from the beginning. She's been lying from the beginning. She said she never threatened that woman with a weapon, and she absolutely did. Okay? Now, second of all, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But so then after that happened, I believe that Britt Eady honestly thought that she was going to get the sympathy. I honestly believe that she was going to get public opinion, right? Once it came out of what happened, that she was going to get the sympathy. And when the episode aired, and public opinion still was not supporting her, especially after the episode with her threatening Kenya aired first. So then everybody already knew she was a liar. Especially after we saw how the season was going, and we saw how you was picking on Kenya from the word go. See, here's the thing, Britt. You can't be sympathetic and not show yourself to be a sympathetic person. You were picking on Kenya from the word go. It was obvious that you was trying to, make a name out of yourself. Using Kenya was your MO from the word go. From that very first event down to Shamia's house, you was picking at her, talking about that whole wedding ring thing. And I said that from the beginning, that I was like, okay, it's clear to me where Kenya was coming from when Kenya said this woman had been bothering her from the beginning of the show. It's obvious that that's where this was coming from. Got it. I got it, Kenya. Got it, right? Then the episode down to the vault, where you threatened that woman with a weapon after you said you didn't threaten her with a weapon. So by the time we actually got to the episode down to Kenya's salon opening, even people who aren't Team Twirl weren't that sympathetic towards you. Even though I personally didn't have no problem with Kenya being fired, I understand the frustration from the fans who felt some kind of way about it. Because I get it. I get it. I get how you felt, right? I get how you felt as Team Twirl and the fans and stuff. I definitely understand why y'all was like, okay, well, Kenya did that, but ... I get it. I understand why people was like, well, Kenya did it, but she did this, and this. And Bravo didn't do this, and Bravo didn't do... Got it. 100% understand. And that is where I think Britt was like, wait a minute. So y'all ain't fucking with me? Y'all not fucking with me? Y'all not backing me up? I think Britt underestimated all of that. I think there was a lot of miscalculations that were involved. And then as the season continued to move forward, as we move forward past then we started seeing other things where people wasn't a fan of Brit Eady. Her getting into it with Angela over the, she tried to lie on Angela about what Angela said about her license when she was like, girl, I have a real estate license, insurance license as well. And this is what has to happen in the state of Georgia. This has to happen, and that has to happen. So for you to say that your license is under investigation for this incident, that's not true. That's a lie. So now you have, again, you got Team Twirl was already on your ass because they already feeling some kind of way that they blaming you for the reason why Kenya ain't there. Now you got the rest of us who not necessarily Team Twirl, but we're like, wait a minute, Britt. Like, now you're doing too much. Then now you had the situation down to the country club where you still owe these people money. The country club done sued your husband. And it's just a bad look. Then last week, that was just, I think last week was people just putting 20 on 10. But okay, cool. You didn't give as much as everybody else gave, going down to the Grenada. And it looks like basically the rest of the cast turns against you by the end of this season. Now, here's what we know about reality shows. Before the reunion, the cast sees the whole season. They get sent the entire season, so they get a chance to view it, so they can honestly answer questions before the reunion. So whatever happens in these last 3 or 4 episodes, I think we only have like 3 episodes left. So whatever happens in these last 3 episodes, I'm guessing probably it don't get no better for Britt. That's how I'm feeling, right? Exactly, LC Charmed. I agree with you on that one. I agree with you 100% on that. Now, I think, y'all want to know what I think? Y'all ready for my 2 cents on this? I need y'all to listen to me very carefully. For people who know me, y'all know I'm saying what I'm saying, the way I'm saying it, for a reason. For the people who are new here, just know that some of what I'm telling y'all is based off of information I've been getting on the back end. So, but I got to say it the way I'm saying it so that y'all understand that I ain't saying that this is 100% coming from an inside source, but I'm adding my inside source information to my critical thinking skills. So I need y'all to, we need to be on the same page. Hey, Jonathan, what's up, boo? We need to be on the same page with that. Okay, it's 200 people in here. Hit that like button. Thank you. Thank you. Here is what I believe happened. I believe that Britt Eady. Now, let me say this. And Don back me up on this one because I know that Don had boots on the ground. From my understanding, there was more than one picture. Don, drop down and say yes or no based on what information you have. Based on the information that I have received, there was more than one picture. The reason why there was only more than one, the reason why there was only one picture that we keep talking about, is for legal reasons. Y'all with me? There are legal reasons why we are only privy to one picture. But if you go back to that episode, you can see that there were multiple poster boards, and we only saw 3 of those poster boards being presented. There was more than one picture. So walk with me right this. Last week I got my roots done last week. Thank you, boo. So walk with me, y'all. Walk with me. I need y'all to hear this. I absolutely believe that picture that we have been talking about all season is not Britt Eady. I believe that. I believe that. But I also believe that there were more pictures there that were Britt Eady. Are y'all with me are y'all hearing what I'm saying? I'm going to say it one more time before I go further. I absolutely believe that one picture that we keep talking about was not Britt Eady. However, there were more pictures there, and I believe that those pictures were Britt Eady. I believe that Britt Eady has known from the word go that picture was not her. I believe that Britt Eady knew from the word go that picture was not her. And she stuck it in her back pocket. Exactly, Elsie. Then the statement she made is correct. What did I tell y'all last night? Didn't I tell y'all she was playing semantics? Remember last night? If y'all were in my chat last night, I told y'all she was playing semantics. Now, here's how I think we got here. I told y'all, and I stick to what I told y'all. She absolutely threatened the lawsuit back in June. And I stick to that story. That she threatened the lawsuit, that she had an attorney back in June. I absolutely stick by that. I believe that there was an agreement between Bravo, Truly Original, and Britt Eady. And I believe that part of that agreement including some promises. Remember I told y'all that Britt Eady was coming back? Didn't I tell y'all Britt Eady was supposed to be coming back? I believe that as a result of how the rest of the season went, Britt didn't get what she thought she was going to get. Ravine, I told you why, baby. See, you team twirl. I love you, but you team twirl. I know where you are with this. I think that when she watched the rest of that season, she decided to use that whole card she had in her back pocket. Now, this is what I believe. I ain't saying it is true. I'm not even saying, I'm telling you what I believe happened. I believe that Britt Eady threatened with a lawsuit. And when it didn't go the way she thought it was going to go this season, she used her whole card. She said, fuck this. Because here's what we already know. We already know that the minute you don't show up to the reunion, you're fired. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The minute you don't show up to the reunion, you are fired. Now, we know that people have walked off during the reunion. We know that people, I think Mary Crosby, and I think y'all told me somebody from the OC. I think y'all told me somebody from the OC did it one time. Mary Crosby, I really think might be the only housewife that never showed up for the reunion without some sort of an excuse. I think Mary said she was sick, but nobody believed that she was sick. Portia Williams, what reunion did Portia Williams not show up for, Andre? Jacqueline, I knew it was somebody from the OC. Jacqueline is the only one that's been able to come back that didn't show up for the reunion. Yeah. But y'all know, like I know, 99. Well, Karen was, come on now, lovely soul. Karen was in rehab. Whether we believe it was a legitimate rehab or not, she was actually in rehab when the reunion was filmed. Hold on. And not only that, she actually sent in something from rehab. Like she was at the reunion. She just wasn't at the reunion. Now, it might have been Club Med of rehabs, but she was technically unavailable to be at the reunion. Okay. Jacqueline, you're talking about from New Jersey. Jacqueline didn't show up at the reunion. Yeah, I think that's what y'all told me, that there was one person. Okay, lovely. So you just being funny. Okay. So I gotta change my picture. I keep forgetting to change it back. Kenya Moore did show up at Real Housewives. Okay, Andre, I don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah, she definitely knew she was going to get roasted if she came to that reunion. And honestly, I think that's what it is. I really think that she decided to file this lawsuit. I believe she decided to use her whole card. Now, again, I don't know any of that to be true. That's just my thoughts. That is my opinion. That's my opinion. I just thought that, I just feel like Portia has never missed a reunion. She was sent home from the drag. Portia has never missed a reunion. Oh, okay. I didn't think Portia had ever missed a reunion either. Now we know that Nene walked off of a reunion. She slammed that damn computer down, that virtual reunion they had, but that's the only person I can think of from Atlanta. Well, yeah, when she assaulted Kenya, that's a different conversation. Yeah, she was sent home. That's not the same as her not showing up. So y'all in the chat arguing. Okay. Oh, he wasn't talking. Yeah, I'm about to say y'all in the chat, child. All right, I'm gonna stay out the chat. So yeah, that's my opinion, if I'm being honest. Now, I don't think that this lawsuit is going anywhere because, again, clearly there's more than what we know. We don't know everything. We know an edited version of what happened. We don't know every conversation, every email, every group chat, every text message. Like, we don't. But what we do know is what we've seen all season. Juan said that Britt didn't show up to the cast production meeting in Atlanta prior to the reunion. So it tells me that she wasn't planning on. She knew she wasn't coming. That she did not know. She definitely did not know. I mean, she definitely didn't. She definitely wasn't coming. If she didn't come to the production meeting, she wasn't coming to the reunion. Like, that's pretty much that. I'm sure to be addressed at the reunion. Y'all know Andy is going to talk about it. Andy's going to bring it up now, because now that this lawsuit has been, and that's the other thing too. Let's think of this strategically as well. Even if we think it's a bullshit lawsuit, the fact that it is a current litigation, it will limit what they can and cannot show at that reunion. Because remember, they've already filmed the reunion. So they may have to edit the reunion based on what was talked about. Based on what was talked about at the reunion, if it's under that lawsuit, they may be limited in what they can even talk about. See, it's all strategic as well when you look at it from that point of view. Hey, A said the plot is thicker than ever. Where does the show go from here? That's a good question. Y'all, that is honestly a good question. Another channel thinks this is a win for Kenya. I don't see how. Now, this is what I'm going to say. And that's why I put that in the title. Thank you, LC Charm, for bringing me back around to my title. My question is, because here's the thing. Two things can't be true at the same time, right? Britt, you can't have it your way. Two things can't be true at the same time. So what I mean by that is this. Britt, if that was never you in that picture, let's just forget about what I said to y'all about other pictures being around. Let's just go by what we saw on camera. Let's stick to what we saw on the screen. We all season long, we've been talking about this one picture. Let's walk down that road. Let's walk down that road. If Brit Eady's telling the truth, I ain't say she is, I said if. Y'all walk with me down the road. If Brit Eady is telling the truth, and that picture is not her, never was her, and everybody on the show knew that that picture was not her. If I'm Kenya, I'm running my ass down to the courthouse and I'm filing for wrongful termination. Because what you fired me for, if that wasn't her. Now again, I don't, again, because two things at the same time. I allegedly disseminated revenge, PORN. But if that was never her, if it's not her, now, I'm not saying I agree that it's a win for Kenya, but what I'm saying is two things. You can't say you cannot have it both ways. You can't say Kenya did me so dirty. How dare she do that to me? I'm so embarrassed. My license is in jeopardy, and all of these horrible things happened to me as a result of what Kenya Moore did to me, and Kenya Moore needs to be fired. But then on the flip side, be like, that's not even me. And everybody knew it wasn't me. From production to my castmates, everybody knew that wasn't me. So then what can you get fired for? I understand the intent. I can hear somebody say, well, she intended to do it. Okay, she did. She intended to do it. But what she get fired for then? Again, I'm not saying I agree that it's a win for Kenya, but what I'm saying to Britt is, girl, you can't have it both ways. It can't be Kenya did this horrible thing to you, but it wasn't really you. Again, I'm not saying I agree with that logic. I'm saying I can understand people making that argument. Is Georgia an at-will employment state? I don't know. That's a good question, Quay. That is a very good question. I do not know. Now, what's his name? Don Juan. I kept wanting to say Chef Don. That's why I had to keep. Don Juan has done 2 lives today. If you guys have not checked out Don Juan, y'all know Candy's business partner. He has a YouTube channel and he's done 2 lives today. And one of the things that he said that I thought was very interesting is when you go on these reality TV shows, there are certain things that you sign off in your contract. Now, he was saying, I can't speak specifically to Britt's contract. I can't speak specifically to Kenya's, he said, but I can speak in general terms because I've seen the contracts and I know what they say. Now, he cannot speak specifically to those women, but y'all know that he knows what was in Candy's contract, right? And as a result, there are certain things that you give up your right to in that contract. So, for example, something that would be unacceptable in a regular job, you sort of sign off on these reality shows. Perfect example, I'm going to beat your ass. If I go to work tomorrow and I say to my coworker across the hall from me, I'm going to beat your ass, at the very least, there is going to be some disciplinary action for me because that's not acceptable. But on these reality shows, that you sign off on certain things in your contract to say, hey, y'all know that there's certain things they can't sue about. And you know that there's certain things. So he was saying that some of those things, like you can't put them on the same scale because there's certain things they sign off to. You see what I'm saying? It's probably because you shouldn't do that to anybody if it's Brit or not. I just hope they move forward from the storyline. That's true, Lauren. And that's why I said I don't think it's a good argument to say, oh, well, Kenya won, or this is good for Kenya, because at the end of the day, whether she thought it was Brit or not, it's the intent that she did it. Like, it still wasn't a good look. And again, I told you guys that from my understanding, when an investigation was done, because an investigation was done, some things came out in the investigation that impacted Kenya's employment. I am going to say this, and I've said this before a million and trillion, a gazillion times. I think at this point, Bravo needs to phase out cities and find new cities with brand new people with brand new storylines. I also think that this format, this genre may have run its course. And I'm going to tell you why it may have run its course. Because people know what to expect now. And people come on these shows already ready for certain things. So if you go back to the early seasons of all of these shows, even the Beverly Hills and the OCs, the richest zip codes, there was still a level of freshness and naivety to what was to be expected, right? We look back at the first seasons of any of these shows, and the women didn't know what to expect. These women were really going through their everyday life. Yeah, they were adding a little bit of pizzazz. Yeah, they were adding a little bit of flair. But now you have people coming on the show, and they are literally mortgaging their houses and doing all of these crazy things just to have the right look, to get the Botox, to get the fillers, to get the weave, to get the wardrobe, whether it's a real wardrobe or a borrowed wardrobe, right? They're ready. They know how to come on the show and create a moment, create a storyline, because they know they only have one shot to get it right. You know what I mean? They only got one shot to get it right. So you have a Mia Thornton that comes on the show willing to lie and make up a whole story, a whole past until it gets exposed, right? You have a Brit Eady that's willing to lie and put on this facade of who she is and what kind of, how much money she has and all of these different things, right? And I think that we've just lost that authenticity of real people's lives. And on the flip side, when we do have people who come down here and are just showing us their real life, we don't, and when I say we, I'm talking about as a general, the fans in general, we don't appreciate it. Because then we say, oh, they're boring. Oh, this is a stupid storyline. Oh, all she's talking about is this. So I just think this genre has sort of run the race. Like, I don't think reality TV is at the end of the road, but I do think this format is, because I'm interested to see what happens in Rhode Island, right? With this brand new show, with these brand new women. I am interested to see what happens, but we just had a brand new city, Dubai, and it was a train wreck. In my opinion, it was a train wreck. Dubai was not a good show. Now, I think they were limited in some things because of where they were filming. The laws are very strict, and you can't remember that night when they got into that fight out in front. They got into that argument last season in Dubai out in front of the lady from London. Remember they got into that argument out in front of her house, and they were worried about somebody going to jail because they were like, you can't do this in Dubai. Like, you can't be out in the streets yelling and arguing. Like, somebody gonna call the police and somebody going to jail. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Nitwit? Thank you for the super chat. Nitwit said, but I think this is the era that we are in as a whole. Housewives grew up with social media and influencers. Everyone wants to be rich and famous. Facts. I agree. Dansbury, thank you. It was Dansbury. And remember, baby, they were really, like, you could tell they were nervous for real, because they were like, we don't do that in Dubai. Like, they don't do that yelling and screaming, and they're gonna call the police, and if the police show up, somebody going to jail. And it was real. Like, it was real. And I really think that has a lot to do with why the show was put on pause. I think it's a very expensive show to produce, and I think they were very limited. Very, very, very limited. Yeah, so I just think that, you know, and then I think cities like Atlanta are just spent. I think y'all have gone through everybody that is interested in doing reality versus and who's good for reality. That is why when you look at Atlanta, and I've had this conversation before, so I'm not going to just keep saying it over and over again, but that's why they keep going back to the well. People say, why do they keep going back and getting the same people over and over again? Because that's who they can find. They test people, they do screen tests on people, they let people film to see if the chemistry is there, to see what it's going to be like, and they always end up going back to what they already know. They always keep going back to what they already know, because we may clown Sheree for summer spring joggers, but Sheree knows how to play this game. You know, Sheree knows what to do. Sheree knows how to get on the screen and act a fool, right? But I just think Atlanta is spent. I just don't think there's anybody else in Atlanta that would be good for Atlanta that wants to do it. Because remember how many people have turned the Real Housewives of Atlanta down. If you name most of the female Black celebrities in Atlanta that you've never seen on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, they've probably been asked. And they've turned it down. I remember one day we went through the list. There's probably a list without me thinking real hard. There's probably 20 people that I can name. Well, maybe not 20. 10 people I could probably name without even thinking real hard of who they've asked to be on the show, and they've turned it down. And most of your Black celebrities in the city of Atlanta, if you think of them, they probably turned it down. Monica turned it down. T-Boss turned it down. What's her name? I think they said, I think all of Escape was asked at one point in time. I think at one point in time, all of the members of Escape were asked. At the very least, they were asked to film and be like friends of or something like that. Latoya Luckett, Rashida, Lil Wayne's ex-wife, Ray Janae's mama. She was asked. Tamar was asked. I think all of the Braxtons were asked. I think all of the Braxtons were asked. When I say all the Braxtons, I mean I believe Tamar, Tony. I know Tamar and Tony were asked because at one point in time Tony lived in Atlanta. Shoot, I'm on 7 and without even thinking real hard. But again, I'm sure if I sit here a little bit longer, I could probably think of some more people. But if you name it, you guys, the Brat was asked. The Brat and her wife were asked. Selena Johnson was asked. Yeah. So it was honestly, y'all, a lot of people have been asked to be on the show and they've turned it down, and some have turned it down for reasons because they couldn't make it fit in their schedule or whatever. Some of them turned it down because they had other opportunities, but most people turned it down because that's just not what they're looking for. Keisha Knight Pulliam. I'm not surprised. It's funny because all of these people have been on flop reality shows. I don't know if I would say flop. I mean, the Braxtons, they had a good run for a long time. I don't think I would say the Braxtons had a flop. Rashida's not a flop. She's been on Love and Hip Hop for 20 damn years. Rashida probably makes more money than Britt made this year on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Monica was on The Family Hustle. And that didn't really flop. That got canceled because T.I. and Tiny's situation. Selena, I wouldn't say the Real R&B Divas was a flop. Like, I don't think these shows were flops. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. I'm about to get up off of here. Thank y'all so much for being here. Tomorrow, Janelle Stevens, co-founder of Camille Rose Naturals. I thought she was supposed to be. I remember that name. Tomorrow we have Never Ever. I mean, nope. That's Sunday. We have Never Ever Meets. Tomorrow we have Beyond the Gates. I think we said 1:00 my time. Tomorrow afternoon, I believe we're going to do a live with Tracy and Miss Cruiser to talk about the cruise, give you guys some updates on some information. Tracy's going to tell us all about her experience on the Utopia of the Seas, which is the ship that we're going on in February. And of course, Sunday night is going to be the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm doing an interview on Sunday as well. I got to schedule that. And then of course next week, you guys, we have the Real Housewives of Miami. I will be doing my live, but we will also be doing a panel, which will be myself, JB, Bell Perspective TV. And we have I'm surprised y'all with the new person. I'm a surprise y'all. I believe the cruise talk. I think I told Tracy 3:00, but I have to remember. Oh, the slutty vegan. She was asked. Oh, okay. See, I mean, yeah, a lot of these people were asked and they turned it down. So it's not that when y'all keep saying, when I say y'all, I mean the fans in general say, we need some new blood. We need some new blood. We need some new blood. It's not that easy. It's not that easy because people get asked and they turn it down. So it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. It just is not that easy, y'all. But anyway, let me get up off of here, you guys. Am I going to watch the Pee Wee Herman documentary? Probably not. Probably not. I can't say for certain, but I can say probably. Yeah, I'm not interested in that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Can I say this? I think I am at my quota right now on perverted men. Yeah. I never did finish watching the one on the guy from Seventh Heaven. I just couldn't finish watching it. I just couldn't. I think I'm just at my quota right now. I think I'm just at my quota. I need a couple of months to decompress. I need to decompress from all of these weird men taking advantage of minors, and so no, I'm probably not gonna watch it. Yeah. And so all right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a great evening. Thank y'all for coming through. Thank you for the super chats. Thank y'all for the memberships. And I thank y'all for the likes. Appreciate it. Talk to y'all later.